losable for him.
Yeah, there are a ton of... this first round, he's going to be playing against a white-red aggro deck. Now, Laskin is playing a deck that pretty much has 12 Wormcoil Engines in it.
I agree.
Now,
that's an accurate characterization.
Yeah, if you're green-red, if you're white-red, if you're a ramp, Lou's deck is a nightmare for you. Laskin playing this super interesting deck. This deck was designed by Nick Spagnuolo. Pretty interesting one. Turn 1 Gitaxian Probe.
Paying mana.
Plains, Oxidridge, Silverblade Paladin, Sword of War and Peace, Thalia.
And another Plains.
And another Plains.
So he has Plains, Thalia, Silverblade Paladin, Sword of War and Peace, Hero of Oxidridge. Probably at the lower end of the keepable range of hands for Jesse. Arguably a mulligan. Doesn't have a 1-drop, and Thalia on the draw when you have Sword of War and Peace is probably not where you want to be.
Yeah, he actually drew Clifftop Retreat, which is a perfect draw. Well, I guess Champion is perfect. Champion into Clifftop Retreat, but...
Draws another sword.
Another sword, not necessarily the best, but it could be quite good. The Thalia into sword draw can do pretty well against some of Lou's draws that don't involve Vapor Snag.
Yeah, but, I mean, you can't curve Thalia into sword, which is, like, the problem.
Yeah.
Thalia into Silverblade, decent, not great, but not terrible.
Now, a Grand Architect comes down for Lou, and...
so does he trade here? Like, if
no,
he
I don't
double
think
strikes
so,
it?
Because even if he double strikes it, then, like, the Grand Architect gives Lou the opportunity to
cast Wormcoil Engine.
Just cast Wormcoil on turn 4. And if Lou can cast Wormcoil on turn 4 against white-red aggro deck, everything's gravy in the Navy. Look, he doesn't even look at his card. Yeah, there you go.
The card on the top of his deck doesn't matter because he knew exactly...
Yeah.
Threw it on the ground. I'll pick that up later. I have a turn 4 Wormcoil Engine.
Yeah. And if you're Jesse Gordon right now, you're not the happiest dude in the universe because your opponent has a...
Yeah, you have Sword of War and Peace, and that's not going to do a whole lot.
Yeah, it's strange when your Sword of War and Peace is unable to race your mono blue opponent.
So the thing is, Lou has 11 more Wormcoil Engines in his deck right now.
Yeah, and now a lot of them cost
2 mana.
3 or 2 mana.
Yeah.
And Jesse Gordon, the only card he has in his deck, or the only 3 cards he has in his deck that can actually target the image, are Fiend Hunter and Oblivion Ring. So
he has 2 Fiend Hunter, 1 Oblivion Ring.
Yep. Alright, now Lou going up to... going to gain 7 with this attack, going up to 23. Jesse dropping to 13 here. Lou going to go ahead and make a Phantasmal Image, a copy of Wormcoil Engine. Passing the turn over to Jesse. And can Jesse do anything about...
This looks brutal already.
About this horde of Wormcoil Engines.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look like he can. That's the face of a man who is on the wrong end of a Wormcoil Engine. Alright, and a Mirror Crusader comes down, and now actually, this is interesting, because Jesse actually has enough first strike on the board that Lou can't attack with his Wormcoils now.
Correct.
Yeah. But something that Lou can do is Lou can create some sort of image effect to copy the Silverblade Paladin and give his Wormcoil Engine double strike.
That's awesome. I like it.
Yeah.
He can also peel the 1 of Devastation Tide in his deck pre-board and just upheaval and then recast his dudes.
Yes, he can also do that.
But he'll go for the much safer Vapor
much
Snag. Look at your hand.
Sees a sword, Hero of Oxidridge, and the Silverblade Paladin that he advanced. Right. All right, Lou going to send both Wormcoil Engines into the red zone.
Sounds very correct.
Yeah, his opponent going to be forced to block at least one of them.
Blocks
Decides
both.
to
chump
block
both.
Lou has the option to blue them, to blue the Wormcoil. He chooses not to blue it, and
Lou can blue it,
12.
really?
Yeah, I mean, it makes it blue, right? Have you ever seen Arrested Development?
Yeah. And Jesse has decided he's had enough.
Yeah, so there we have seen what the mono blue Grand Architect deck does against red-based aggro decks.
Very capable of putting games away very quickly.
Yeah, now Jesse taking a look at Lou's deck list is probably like, well, this is unfortunate for me.
Yeah.
All right, and we're back. So now it's time to ask a trivia question. Earlier today, we watched a very interesting Freets deck, French Rights, and it had a reanimation target that you don't normally see. This is a reanimation target that I talked a little bit about building on a budget, and Drew actually made a fun name for it.
Yeah.
Now I'd like to know what card you get killed by if you got hoofed.
Yeah.
So what card did you get killed by if you were hoofed?
Yeah.
That's the question. If you've been watching today, you would know. If you read my building on a budget column, you would know. It's a pretty awesome card. This person did kill 16 in the tournament. They die the turn you unburial rights it. It's very exciting. I'd like to know what you were killed by if you were hoofed. So tweet that in to hashtag SCG Premium, and you will give yourself an opportunity to win 3 free months of Star City Games Premium content.
Note that you have to hashtag SCG Premium, not just tweet it at SCG Live.
Yeah, if you want to tweet it at SCG Live also, more power to you. If you want to tweet it to me, I'd love to see your answers. If you want to tweet it to Drew, you can tweet it to him. But you have to tweet it to hashtag SCG Premium if you want a shot to win. If you want to tweet it to Rihanna or Kesha, you can do that. All right, going to game 2. And man, Nick Spagnuolo designed this deck that Lou was playing, and he sent me a text message before top 8 started. Hey, do you like my deck? Question mark.
Did you text back, I love it, heart?
I believe that is exactly how I responded.
I mean,
in return, but I think the heart was an exclamation point.
Oh,
but a heart would have been more appropriate.
Dude, it's definitely exclamation point heart.
Yeah, maybe we're both.
Do you
right.
not
You're
love
right.
Nick Spagnuolo?
Of course, I love Nick Spagnuolo.
Let him know it, man.
He knows. He knows.
Okay.
That's right, Nick. I love you.
We love your deck too.
Yeah. This looks pretty sweet. It's pretty exciting to watch. I'm sure a lot of people are pretty happy at home. They've been watching these top 8s, seeing people cast Hunt Master of the Fells, seeing people cast Delver of Secrets, and it might be a little bit homogenous. But nope. Lou Laskin shows up. No, he's
Pick
he's
the
hanging out with
Hunter
Grand
Clefairy?
Architect. Grand Architect was actually my preview card.
Really?
From Scars of Mirrodin. I wrote the column.
That's
bringing
awesome.
that to the world. I knew that Grand Architect existed before anybody else in the public. That's right. I'm a very special human.
But you didn't build this deck. Why?
I actually built a deck very similar to this I'm building on a budget about a year ago.
Really?
But back then it wasn't very good. It's very well positioned now.
Yeah.
Obviously it didn't have Dungeon Geist. It did have 4 Metamorphs and 4 Phantasmal Images though. It was
And
right
4
when
Coils?
It was right when Phantasmal Image got printed. And I think I did not have all 4 Worm Coils because they're expensive and it's building on a budget.
Yeah.
But I did have at least a couple and argued that
You should add more if you could.
Yeah, add more if you could, and the reason I justified playing a few was it's a promo card.
Right.
You know, so everybody should
its
have
price
at least
is naturally
one.
suppressed.
Yeah, everybody should have at least one, and your friends all probably have
Yeah,
at
if
least
you
one.
go to a
they-
pre-release,
if
you
they
just
went
get
to the
one for free.
pre-release. So you conceivably just borrow your friends'
Yeah.
Coil Engines if you wanted to play the deck in a tournament.
Or just go to multiple pre-releases, man.
Yeah.
Yet
do that
another
too.
reason to always go to the pre-release.
Yeah, pre-release card. You know, sometimes it doesn't turn out to be the best thing, but sometimes it's a Worm Coil Engine.
And sometimes it's a Restoration Angel.
Yeah,
Well,
Restoration
that's
is not
the
a bad
release
one.
foil. Sometimes it's a figure of Destiny or in a Johnny Vengeance.
Yeah, remember when they were giving away a Johnny Vengeance?
Yeah, that was real.
That was unreal. I was just like, you're just gonna give me this Planeswalker?
That's really good.
Thank you.
Well, and then Figure of Destiny is just like one of the best red and one of the best white 1-drops in the format.
Of all time. It's one of my favorite cards ever.
Yeah. It's just so good.
You want to know? I mean, man, Ranger of Eos is my favorite card of all time. And if it
And it
weren't
gets
for Figure of Destiny, it would not be my favorite card of all time.
Man, Figure of Destiny just puts it over the top.
Yeah, Figure of Destiny is like, it's like the Steve Nash, you know, for Ranger of Eos.
It's the
It
Scottie
like, makes it
Pippen?
look really good.
Scottie
Yeah,
Pippen,
it's
maybe?
the Scottie Pippen. There you go.
Okay.
For Ranger of Eos, Michael Jordan. Figure of Destiny, Scottie Pippen.
Man, I can't believe that we're comparing Ranger of Eos to MJ.
It's pretty similar, right? It's basically the same thing.
They just need a good team around them to win the game on their own.
Yeah.
They need someone to get scrappy and rebound. They need someone who can, handle the ball, knows when to pass it.
Yeah, I mean, you know what I really like about Ranger of Eos is the art. because it's a picture of Aunt Ruel,
Yeah.
just like covered in animals, like with like a dog and like a bird and like
Yeah.
all these different animals just like hanging off of him.
And they were like-
but it's actually like Ant, so like I know him and like he's
Yeah.
like a completely ridiculous human, like a hilarious person.
Yeah.
And there's a magic card with his picture on it, with him in like full armor, like regalia, covered in animals.
Yeah.
That's got to be one of my favorite parts about that card.
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
Love it. Anyway, looking at these sideboards right now, Lou, post board, he has a Dismember he can bring in. He has a Dungeon Geist, both going to be pretty good. He has Sword of War and Peace. It's a particularly
Very, very
strong
good.
card against white-red decks.
I agree. He also has a Devastation Tide, which I would like to see in.
I don't think he's going to bring it in. I think
Really?
he has been very disappointed with the Devastation Tide that was in his main deck all weekend.
That's
and I think he's
valid,
been-
but I think that he's played against a lot of Stringerroot Geist and Wolf Run Ramp decks. And
Well, I think
fewer
it's
of the-
familiar. I think it's similarly bad against white-red humans because they have access to Lightning Mauler, and this guy even has Hero of Oxidridge. So this guy has the same type of like haste pressure.
Sure. That makes sense. I think that on Jesse's side, he's bringing in 3 Oblivion Ring,
Yeah.
2 Zealous Conscript, and 2 Revoking Systems.
Yeah, the revokes are going to be really good here.
So the 7 cards he's cutting, probably getting rid of that one of Riders of Gavany in his deck.
Yeah,
Seems
not really sure what that
particularly
does.
bad. Me either. Getting rid of the 2 Sword of War and Pieces for sure.
White-red human mirror, it's pretty good.
Yeah, I agree. So that's 3. I don't think Doom Traveler pulls a lot of weight when you're not getting sweepered. So that's 5. And I don't particularly like Mirren Crusader. So that's more than 7. I think he's got some options on what to cut, but those are the cards I would look.
Pure here. I mean, it's weird. I guess he's not trading 1 for 1, so he's just trying to apply as much pressure as possible, like early.
Yeah.
Oh, so Lou is mulliganing to 5 here in game 2. Does not bode well for him in this
No.
game, but he has a whole nother game, and
I mean, look, man. People win on mulls to 5 all the time.
I mean,
don't
not all the
start
time.
that about the like. Oh, he's mulling to 5. At least he has game 3. No, come on. Like you get to play Magic after you mull to 5. The reason you mull to 5 is so that you get to play Magic. And sure, his body language, belies his lack of confidence. But that doesn't mean that like because your 7 card sucks and your 6 card isn't any better that like you're just doomed because you have 5 cards. You can still have land, Architect, Wormcoil. You can still have like land, Ponder, Vapor Snag, and like Ponder into Grand Architect and like
no,
Flash
I
Attack and
understand that
Wormcoil.
he can still win. I wasn't.
Yeah.
So Thalia on turn 2 for Jesse. Thalia's pretty good against Lou's deck. Not excellent, but the fact that he has so many like cheap cantrips with Snapcaster Mage it definitely hinders him a little bit.
Lou can definitely mitigate it quite a bit by having 8 clones to Legend Rule it off the board.
Yeah. He has a ton of ways to deal with Thalia. Alright, so Jesse has a Lightning Mauler.
Post-combat
and,
Lightning Mauler. Huh.
Yeah, interesting. Now, I think if he doesn't suit up the Lightning Mauler right away, that's kind of telling that he has a something like a Hero Blade hold.
Yeah. Interesting that Lewis, being the sort of person to know that, would dismember the Thalia.
Well, I mean, if he doesn't dismember the Thalia, then he kind of blocks himself up for the next couple of turns and needs to pass the turn again.
Yeah.
And I guess he had to do that anyway. But, Jesse doesn't have the hero. So
Or doesn't have the 4th land.
I think it's more likely that he's not have the 4th land. Another thing is that Lou might actually have Vapor Snag in hand. And might
I agree.
be
That's
setting
very
that up.
likely.
That seems actually more likely.
Yeah. I would expect... Oh, Snapcaster Dismember. That's a lot of damage, man.
Yeah.
It's another 4 life.
And Lou already got an 8 here.
Jesse with no burn spells, though, so has to deal all of the damage on the ground.
Okay, I can see Jesse's hand now, and he did keep the swords in. He kept them both in because his hand is Sword of War and Peace.
Oh, dear.
Hero of... Oh, very nice.
Oh, dear. Wait, did he... Oh, he paid Phyrexian mana for that?
Yeah, he must have a Vapor Snag in hand.
Yeah, that's just like a telegraphed Vapor Snag.
Yeah, so what? I mean...
Yeah.
It's awesome.
I mean, like, he's laying it on the table, but
Yeah, now Jesse's
he's
really gonna be
definitely
forced
attacking
to,
through.
So Jesse's hand is probably like Fiend Hunter, another sword, Hero of Blade Hold. So
Yep,
Fiend
resolves.
Hunter resolves.
Vapor Snag it.
Yeah. And yeah, Lou at just 6 now. Goes ahead and gets a Vapor Snag off on that. And Snapcaster Mage comes into play. Unfortunately, he can't make all sorts of fun times with the...
And his Snapcaster Mage can now not be Fiend Huntered.
Correct.
So he's going to gain 2 life, pretty good, and deal his opponent what looks to be 9 damage.
Yeah. So Jesse does draw a 4th land. It's a Cavern of Souls. Going to get to name Human with that, and it's going to be interesting which hero Jesse has.
Yeah.
Does he have a hero box?
He definitely needs a hero.
Bladehold? We can be sure he has a hero Bladehold based on his play.
Yeah.
As far as this game.
I agree.
And that's not very good against Lou's hand. And against Lou's board. And that's it.
He's conceding.
Yeah, he concedes. I mean, he's dead on board to the pro-red, pro-white guy.
Yeah.
So Lou, despite the mulligan to 5, I mean, his deck is just extremely well positioned.
Yeah, the
against
quick
the
kill with the copied Sword of War and Peace. Wow.
Yeah,
I did not expect Jesse to keep those in.
Yeah, I mean, they're a huge liability.
Yeah, as we saw. They're so good against him, and